think it's close enough to our time to start. I'm gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is a meeting of City of Hazelhurst City Council at a call meeting, and it's held, of course, at City Hall Conference Room. Today's date's Wednesday, June 3rd, 2015, at 6 p.m. I call the meeting to order. I'll give an invocation at this time, if we can. Lord, we thank you for this day and all our blessings of life. We thank you for the right to assemble as we are and to do the business of our city, and to hope that it's suitable in your eyes, and just give us the strength to do what's right for the city and the county and all of our citizens as best we can. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. I have an approval of the agenda. A motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Mr. Griffin approves the agenda, and Mr. McCall seconds. Any comments before voting? All those in favor of approving this agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Thank you very much. Number one, discuss the golf course. We felt the need, I think, Mr. Purser and myself, to come together and talk about this tonight. It may take us 10 minutes, or may be here an hour. It's just whatever it takes to get us all up to speed and aware of what has happened, if anything that we think matters, that we need to discuss, and also let the public know. The second thing, I'm just skipping ahead talking. Mr. Purser unofficially, or actually he graciously said that he would serve on this as a councilman over the golf course. And I think all of us were glad to hear that, but we actually didn't take a vote on it. So I think I'd like for us to, after discussion, proper discussion, maybe we will vote on that tonight, just to make that official for the record. Mr. Purser, you want to start off talking about things you think the council needs to know tonight?
All right, let me just, I don't know where to begin.
Well,
No, let's just say, the guy that used to work for the Recreation Department, Bryce, and is it Reagan? Reagan. He came out there and helped me with some things, and the guy, Charles, and I and the mayor met with the John Deere rep, and the John Deere rep seemed to have a lot of confidence in Bryce. He said he knows what he's doing. He's familiar. He's worked in it for like 15 years, something like that. So but I may be getting a little ahead of myself. Let me just tell you what I think we ought to do. This is what I think. For 35 years, 40 years, there was a recreation authority, a recreation commission. I served on it at one time as a member, and they ran that recreation department and built it into one of the best recreation departments in this state. Yeah, they made mistakes. They all make mistakes, you know, but and it was good. And all of a sudden, the county commission decided to take it over. And I think that was a huge mistake. I think that I think we should set up a golf course commission with the proper legal, you know, our attorney to draw up the proper relationship, legal, whatever, and let them run the course. We approve their budget. You know, we have the final say on what money they spend, but we don't need another headache. And I'm telling you, I've been out there a lot, and Charles has been, and the mayor's been out there. That is a headache out there. That is a huge headache. And I just think we've got our plate full. I think we need to appoint some people who care about golf, who are knowledgeable about golf courses, et cetera, et cetera. Let them run it. We have the final say on the money, you know. they can, Linwood Truitt here, he's got all kind of ideas about how to raise money to, I don't want the headache myself. I don't mind being the liaison between, but I'm telling you, I've been out there this past week and we don't need that.
Probably 10 times.
No, yeah. That's my thoughts on that, and I've got some suggestions about who we could appoint to that committee, but nonetheless,
Well, let me interrupt you a minute.
Okay.
Back up just a minute to a point where we were last week when George Gainer, I think, brought it up. He asked, okay, now, wait a minute, are y'all gonna lease this course out to someone and let them run it? Or are you gonna run it, let the city run it? Which was a really good question, so.
I agree.
I don't know that we've 100% made that decision. I'd like us to make that decision right now, if possible. If
Well,
everybody has reached an opinion about,
Well, when I came to that meeting last Wednesday, I was in favor of us leasing it to somebody a professional that could run it. That was my thoughts. But after I saw the public support out here, I just feel like we need to give them a try to do it, let the community run that thing with I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. If y'all still want to lease it out, that's fine with me too.
so in other words, you really think, in your opinion, that the city needs to maintain control of it and through our legal avenues, establish a proper commission, whatever that entails. I don't know if it's 3 or 4 boards, a ladies auxiliary, and men's, and board of commissioners, or whatever, a complete package to run and operate it.
The guy from Joe Hayes from the John Deere, he said that Bainbridge has a municipal course. Can you remember the rest of them?
Cochran.
The little town near Perry,
Yeah, Perry's
it
there.
has a municipal. The little town, Lakeland or Lee County,
Eastman had one at one time, I think. Do they
it's
still
a
have it?
public course.
It was, yeah, it was a municipal court.
Municipal court. But see, there are organizations, I mean, there are municipalities that are doing that. And this guy from John Deere is familiar with all of them. That's all he does is handle golf
Right.
courses and all up from Columbus to Macon to Augusta and everything, just about all of South Georgia.
But
So there's some examples out there we can use to draw from.
Well, Dwayne, what do you think? What's on your mind about it?
Well, I think all of it ought to be trial and error, but I mean, if you're going after one thing, starting off, as far as the public, and you draw up the guidelines, like I say with the attorney, to try to let them. My only hope is that you get the people on there starting off that you think really gonna be able to start off slow. Sometimes we start off running too fast, and then we lose down the end. But if they can work together with the main thing to keep it going, I think the very first thing is how we're gonna fund them to get them started.
Well,
And that's why I was really kind of shocked. I thought that in the rec department, sometimes those kind of things can get grants and things from the state under the recreation department to help with fundings like this. You know what I'm saying? So, but since that didn't pan out, I don't know if you got somebody in there this way and eventually they got their own 501, and due to the fact that it's for a public course, you might be more able to get something for them. Because I mean, everybody is not private, and you're gonna have everything going on for that. So that might be a good start. But if you put it in the hands of one individual, we tried that one time. And if you let that person run it, you're gonna have to let that individual run it. You got to. And,
John Turner's. that-
yeah, you got to, you can't be saying, well, he's making money and well, you let him run it for the public, and he was in it to make money. And you can't be bothering him, as long as he's doing it legal, and leave it alone.
Oh,
I like the thought of a community, if you got people on that board that can work together and stick it out.
Well, see,
go ahead.
we're talking about possibly putting a board together and everything to take and operate this. In my opinion, the board needs to take and not just be citizens, but we need to have representation from the Board of Education. We need to have representation from the county recreation department, if, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To take and have these inputs, to take and help control this entity in a way we want it run. You know what I'm saying? I mean, go ahead, Tom.
Well, I thought about that same thing, and I was thinking, as far as the school board, we could, rather than appoint a person, we can appoint a position,
Right.
like the athletic director, the high school golf coach, the school superintendent,
Right.
or, whatever. And same thing with the recreation, we could appoint the recreation director, not Bruce Johnson, but whoever is serving in that position.
Because they do have the recreational golf program as well as the high school golf program and whatever, and the middle school golf program. But so, I mean, I'm sure we could take and get an interest from the coaches especially, more especially, the golf coaches and things like that. And because the recreation department, they need it for the practices, they need it to take and teach the kids what they need to do and everything else. I think it would be, because somebody from the recreation department, or either they'll have volunteers just like they do for football and baseball, will take and help to coach these teams and whatever else to take and get them better. So, I mean, the recreation department can be represented as well, you know what I'm saying? And then,
The industrial authority too.
Exactly.
They're very much interested in it. They want, that's another,
They,
just a position rather than a person.
I almost feel like they need to make a cash.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we get them on the
And
commission,
be on, a member on there too, but they need to,
I agree.
and the school, they need to make a contribution. And
They,
I don't know.
they've been buying I know they buy all the practice balls
Well,
that are out there now.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd be willing to do some more, and I think they do something else, but I can't remember. There's something else.
I really feel like they'd step up with some pretty good
I think they
money.
would.
and, we have to take and understand, if we take and start this venture out and everything, with the proper support, it will work, but we also have to take and understand, we can't take the option off the table of possibly leasing it out to a private individual. We cannot take that option off the table. We have to have, and it's like we said the other night, we really don't need to be in the golf course business, we really don't. But the public does need this facility and everything, and I wholeheartedly believe they do, not just because I play golf, but because, look at the public support we had the other night and everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was a handful of people that take and play golf. But there's, Lord knows how many people in the county that do, that it would serve a purpose to, including our children and everything, grandchildren. I mean, so we can't take the option off the table of, okay, we really need to lease it out, this is not gonna hold up, but we always need to make sure we don't cut our throats, don't take and do it to take in,
We can view this as a trial,
Yes.
as an experiment.
Right.
And let's see if that'll work. If it doesn't work, then we go to plan B.
Remember, to keep in mind what George said, people are not gonna really donate if they think we're gonna turn around and lease it
Well,
out. But maybe we could say, well, maybe the first 12 months is let's see what happens type situation, but you got to give them some kind of assurance that we're not gonna turn around and somebody from New York come in 2 or 3 months and
I tell you something else I've noticed about going out in the course. There's been a steady stream of kids going out there taking golf lessons for the last 3 or 4 days. I mean, it's like one after another. So those children in our community are using that golf course.
I didn't bring my paper that you had.
I forgot to
Mr.
bring it
Truitt. Did you have, did I give you that paper that Mr. Truitt said so many memberships and?
Yep,
so much
yeah, I got it right here.
I meant to make copies to
Going
give to
over
all
that.
of you.
Yeah, I wish we,
I can give everybody a copy.
but promise you will read that, make us some copies. That got somewhat changed, you want, it started off at 5,000. and you
Yeah,
cut it
what do you-
back to-
What, Linwood Truitt came by to see me, we met on Wednesday, so he came out Thursday and talked, and he came up with all these ideas and asked, and I said, Linwood, could you just reduce all this to writing so I can share it with the rest of the council? So he did, and he gave it to me, came out to the golf course and gave it to me. But basically, there were 3 levels of financial participation. There was corporate sponsorships, and he had talked with some other people, and they felt like he mentioned in here $5,000 a year. And he felt like some of his corporate friends that are in other business around said, that's a little steep, you know. So he was talking about 3,000, I think he said. And that would give them X number of memberships.
Come here.
Hey, Rodney?
How you doing? Y'all doing all right?
Good.
Yeah. That'll give them, with that, they get X number of memberships, they get to play for a certain amount, et cetera, et cetera. Here.
Well, Caesar's suggestion that the council commission set up might change this. and you
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Right by this, but this is,
This is just Linwood's thoughts. And, would you give one to them out there?
would you read over it? Some and see what you think?
Well-
I mean, do you think,
The dues, he reduced it to $3,000 a year or $300 a month, which would be $3,600. And that'd give you,
does that mean if you pay it lump sum, you get it for 3,000?
that's right.
Okay.
And then that allows your owners, management, employees, spouses, and children 18 years of age and below to green fees at no charge. You have to rent a cart for $5. That's pretty cheap for renting a golf cart, I'm telling you. And then you can bring out-of-town guests, people, business guests, so forth. And use of the Civic Center at half price. Then you have the individual, which, like, that would be somebody like me, pay $300 a year or $30 per month. And that gives you that reduced rate. It's free green fees and $5 rental rate. I think that's too cheap, but that's
Yeah, the rental rate, I
Linwood's,
think.
that's cheap. That's Linwood's thoughts. Because I remember I used to be a member out there and we paid more than that.
Yeah, back in the 90s,
Yeah,
80s and
yeah.
90s.
And
What do you think
then
realistic, Tom? I don't know what it costs.
Well, you've also got.
you go to, I think if you go to the Vidalia courses, you're paying, well, like he's got green fees, $10 per person per day, the very last one. Well, if you went over Vidalia, you're gonna pay $25, $28, $30, and all these surrounding courses to play. So I thought this was extremely inexpensive. Of course, we've only got a 9-hole course now. The other place they got an 18-hole course. So it should be less, since it's just, although they still could play 18 holes, but I think these rates could be jacked up a little bit.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
wear and tear and maintenance on your golf carts, $5 is, way too much.
That's very cheap,
Yeah.
I thought.
That's
Based on,
$5 per 9 holes, so you're talking about $10.
based on this, what would you project the income would be from this?
Golly.
Don't do the math.
I have no,
Uh,
I just have to sit down and see, I don't know, I've just about quit playing golf, so I don't know what the participation is out there anymore.
that's the thing.
I have no idea. I don't go out there like I used to.
No, really,
Yeah,
and that's a little
But-
scary.
yeah. But,
Uh,
and there's also, Linwood mentioned, there, and I've seen them out there, y'all saw them out there, those nice, granite
Yeah, I saw them today.
Yeah, and, you know, each one of those companies just pays an annual fee to have that.
Yeah, they did.
Did, and they don't do it anymore, but, you know, we can either,
He thinks
See,
most of them will.
yeah,
With them,
like
some
the
of them will.
person, I saw that, I mean, I'm sure Jay would do
Yeah,
that without a, you know, but, by the way, Linwood said he played golf with Ray Wooten and tried to get him to, ask him how much money he paid. He said, I'm through. I'm not paying any.
He's not gonna be a member?
No, he's not gonna be a corporate member, that's a corporate sponsor.
Well,
But I mean,
this represents some source of income, and really, this is all I've really seen, any kind of commitment.
Well,
And I guess-
this includes the school kids that's playing like.
The very last one, the golf team, the very bottom, golf team players play free. And that's the way it's always been out there, to let the golf team players.
What other income could we expect to get? I mean, I think I mentioned that I think school ought to just write a check. How much do you think they need to pay a year?
Well, I think once you develop your budget, then you got to break down where you're gonna get the money from, you know,
you
the
have
total
to take,
budget, and
you
then
know, you have to
how
have.
do we
a
get
budget
money to
first.
cover the budget?
We have to know what our expenditures, our,
Our
the
fixed,
minimum expenditure,
fixed expenditure.
right, fixed expenditures. We need to know what that's basically going to be before we can ever even take and try to address a budget. We need to know lights, we're not worried about water, but we need to know about lights. We need to know about, you know, the lease for the golf carts, the lease for the equipment for John Deere stuff, or the greens equipment and everything else. We need to have a good, solid line. This is the minimum thing here. Now, where do we build on it from here and how do we go from there?
That's when that is, I think we had that committee, they come up, analyze all these figures, and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you know, we don't need all that. Let them come up with the budget, let them and then they present it to us. That's what I think.
Well, what
I
I
mean,
did is I went,
if y'all wanna do it yourselves, that's fine.
I went and got the county's budget and gave it to Ms. Lear,
Or do-
and they're in the process of developing a budget based on insurance,
Oh,
what
good.
they would pay for power bill, stuff like that. So
Okay.
they're doing a rough draft now for a budget,
Good,
but nothing's finalized. Everything's,
Well, I didn't know you had a budget.
that's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
start
yeah.
there.
What did they budget, the county?
the county budgeted, 76,000 is what they budgeted.
Pretty
Annually.
cheap.
Yeah, that was annually. Utilities, gas and oil, grounds maintenance, building maintenance, concession expenses, office supplies, travel and training experience, audit the county, golf cart lease, inventory, equipment maintenance, golf course lease, capital outlay, recreation golf course, salaries, payroll, retirement, insurance, etc. And then miscellaneous.
What about all the chemicals and everything, is that?
That's maintenance.
Maintenance is
Golf course
included in,
maintenance.
what did they have for that?
Let's see. They had 8,500.
That sounds about right.
Chief, you have a comment?
I helped the clerk work on the budget years ago. We had this golf course deal. We struggled with the budget then. My concern, how's it gonna impact my budget, the fire department budget, and these other budgets? You know, we're supposed to have a budget by June the 30th, right? And we're talking about 3 weeks away. How are you gonna develop the budget that quickly and be in the ballpark and not affect the other departments' budgets?
I don't think we can let this bother the department personally, not taking over. I think that now this is trial and error. I don't know if we might have to take a chance to get started and do something and not budget the item to get them started. That's why I was saying we're gonna have to start off slow, getting things together. We can't let it impact what we got going now. Maybe next year we may have to do something to try to get it in.
I know money was taken out of the police department budget and put in the golf course budget for several years.
This year?
No,
No,
in the
oh, I
past,
see.
in the past.
Fast.
And
Let me,
that's my concern.
let me just mention this. That course looks so much better today than it did Monday was a week ago, I think, when I walked out there. And that's all been done
Volunteer.
with volunteers. Anita McLeod, Anita Herndon and I did some grass cutting. Cody had, he volunteered to do it, and I hadn't even used him yet. There are other people we can, I bought some diesel. I bought what do you call it, fuel, red fuel,
5 gallons.
5-gallon tank, and bought fuel, and I charged it to my office. And that's not much, but I think there are a lot of people out there willing to do that to help us get the ball rolling, and, another thing, Daryl Strickland sent me an email, said anything he can do to help. Now, AAA, that, he's sales with AAA especially, and, one of the things you don't want to talk about a bladder tank?
Yeah,
Yeah,
out by our
Yeah.
pump, right, where
And
it won't be a constant pressure.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems they've got out there now. You turn on the thing and it may blow a sprinkler head off or may not. And Bruce John showed me they've got one out there and they got it from Triple H, and Triple H cut them a deal on it. And he said he hadn't had any, they used to be blowing stuff out of the recreation department all the time. So there's another little place where we can get some help from Triple H. And Daryl, I'm telling you, I've dealt with Daryl in the past, and when he says he's gonna help you, he's gonna help you. And
I think.
I don't wanna take away from the other budgets. I wanna see how far we can get this way.
Eventually, we probably will have to, but if we do it like this and go slow, the city still may have to kick in some money to help them get started. But if you got the people that's willing to try for a while, and you get this committee set up, and don't go talking about thousands of dollars, right now, in the future, you may have to do the first initial, but right now, let them go get set up and start trying. Don't even worry about budgeting and all that right away. It's trial and error, because honestly, like I told them the other night, you ain't gonna have a 4-star golf course overnight. If you work at it, my theory is if you start out too fast, you're gonna end up wrong. If you start out slow, get the bumps out of the way, gradually, it will work out.
Push
That's what
comes,
I'm saying. I'm
if
sorry.
push comes to shove, and I'm not, my first impulse is that I'm not in favor of this, but we have those SPOS funds for downtown, or for, what's the terminology?
It's a streetscape and
Streetscape.
parks improvement.
Parks. And you could classify that as a park out there. I'm not in favor of doing that, because we've got other plans for the SPOS, but if push comes to shove,
You can tap
We
into it
might
to
do
help them
something.
out, that's what I'm saying. But
no, but I'm not in favor of that right now. But if we have to have something to fall back on.
And if I've heard right or read right or whatever, and I don't know a lot about it, there are grants out there for this type of improvement to golf courses and whatever else. Now, I don't know a lot about them. I've only heard and I've read a little bit, but I don't know enough to take me. I can't even tell you how they work, what you do, or where you would take it and go to. I mean, I just don't.
What-
I know there's some available, but I don't know how available they are. I know there's some out there, but how available are they? I don't know. That's what I should say.
Let me mention one that, at one time, the county looked into this about using our treated wastewater to irrigate the golf course. And there's money out there, EPA, I'm not sure, but anyway, they looked into it, now they didn't do it, but here's the thing about it, if we can get a grant to use that, it's right there at the golf course.
Right.
And if it would include an irrigation system, we'd be so much ahead of the game. If we get a grant to pay for a new irrigation system out there
And especially using the wastewater,
and using the wastewater,
because that would,
and there are funds out there for
think
that.
about the money that would save us also on water itself.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm telling you, if we could explore that,
I think it can be done, but the good thing is if you can get a group of people, like you said, I say start off with them first and say, this is the way we think y'all do. Just sit down and talk and let's see how we can do this without bothering any budget or whatever, And go ahead and let's work out some plans and get it done, to see how far we can go. Don't look for this thing to get off ground in no 3 or 4 months. Work at it and it will stay if you work at it right.
But Dwayne, I think when you say don't do a budget, you got power. I think we need to come up with a rough, fixed cost.
Yeah,
Something
I know
that's
what
got
I
to
was
be insurance,
Yeah.
power, stuff like that's got to be paid no matter what.
Yeah,
And the citizens are gonna say, okay, what is this gonna cost them? I think we need to keep them informed. Look, if this golf course is gonna be #1 golf course, we're gonna have to expend this amount of money to make it a good golf course. And
But
if
what I
they
was-
know, they'll know how to back it up.
true. But what I was saying though is right now we're trying to
Yeah.
get them started. If you got some funds that you can get them started with,
Right.
don't look to put $500,000 there to make this a 4-star golf course when we don't really know if we're gonna survive. Wait until you really get it to going, and then after a while, you can tap something there that now, you're getting them started. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I know you got to have a budget for
You
you.
got to
You
pay
know,
a lot
another
of
thing-
bill and insurance now.
Oh, I understand
It's up and
that.
down.
Yeah,
and another thing, the lease on the golf carts,
right.
that's another, we've got to get that course open.
Yes.
Those golf carts will pay for themselves, but we've got to have it open.
That's right.
And that, we'll generate the funds to pay that
Have you
lease.
thought about when it might be able to?
We're hoping July 1. That's when I'm hoping. But
That's a month. You ought to have it by then. If you're
we've
going
got
to.
to get it, like I said, we've been out there cutting grass, but those are all real mowers, and none of those mowers will cut that behavior grass.
How soon,
We've got to spray to get rid of that behavior grass.
how soon could we possibly get this 12 corporate sponsor money coming
You got to get it open first.
You're gonna have to get it.
I don't want to go ask them.
in? Not really.
Well, the thing about it is, as I said,
But Linwood would be a good one to do.
Lynn would be,
They understand our dilemma. I mean, if
Mhm.
whoever goes about it, to just say, listen, we're trying to start up July 1st. Now, can we expect your funds by then? I mean, we're gonna be out $10,000.
what we need to do is authorize Linwood to give him some
Yeah,
authority.
look after that.
Ask for it.
Well, but we got to go through Ken to get this thing set up, organization.
Well, I understand that about the organization, but
He can volunteer.
if we
his time.
authorize Linwood to do that, and he can go out there and get us 12 people at 3,000, that's $36,000 that we got just like that. And we need some money to put chemicals on there.
Did we work around that? She said. Well,
I think after you get it open, people start going out there and see what a change it's made, you'll start seeing some donations coming. You got to get it open first.
That's right, we gotta get it done.
and I mean, this is just thinking outside the box once again and everything. And for all practical purposes, we could take and have a Saturday city work day. Maybe a half day, you know what I'm saying? Start and get some stuff done out there, have the employees out there do whatever, and then maybe, whether it's clean up, haul off limbs, do whatever, this, that, and the other, that's a possibility there. I mean,
Well, Nita Herndon already said that if she could get her hands on well, she asked if the city had a zero-turn mower, and I said, yeah, we got one in the streets department. And she'd like to go out there and cut the grass. And I said, well, I think that Jeff's trying to keep up with the grass we got. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You can't, we ain't got, maybe we can turn it loose after hours or something,
On Saturday, maybe.
on a Saturday or something.
I'm saying there again.
But our employees ain't got time, you know, this is grass growing season, we ain't got time to go out there and cut the grass.
Cemeteries got them.
Well, actually, we got from 4 o'clock in the afternoon
Yeah.
till dark.
Mhm. That's a lot of time.
Our mowers are sitting idle, I guess, but
Can you cut the golf course with that kind of mower?
No, that's for, with like around the clubhouse,
Oh,
that stuff needs to be cut. And, no, they won't work on the golf
Okay.
course.
Only thing you could cut that would be the rough, so you can.
Well,
Yeah.
now that's another thing, Bryce said this, the guy Bryce Reagan and also the John Deere guy said the circular mower or zero-turn mowers are not what you need for the rough. They both said, you just need to quit. Apparently
They make ditches and,
they make some rough mowers.
oh, yeah.
And I don't, you know, I'm not familiar with them, but I'm learning a lot about the mowers now in the last few days.
Well, what about the one Cody's got, does he use it all the time? I mean, like,
Well, that could be used around the clubhouse and everything, cut some of that stuff. And the thing is, even that in those fairways where, you know, I cut, and there's someplace you can't even tell I cut because the hay grass is so high. But we could use a rotary mower and cut down those, but the best thing is to spray them and get them killed.
we're really not gonna expect any participation from Jeff Davis County.
I doubt it.
Well, I think once, if this thing get up and going, I would suggest to my board or to the board here, we forget about what was, whatever, but we offer everything to all of us, say, come on guys, let's all try to work together to get this up. You don't have to, school don't have to, the county don't, or whatever. If whichever one wanna get in and help, let somebody volunteer from that board and help, offer it to them. If whether they do it or not, but let's forget about talking about them, you know.
Yeah.
If they didn't wanna do it, say, okay, but we wanna offer, cause this is our home. And we gonna shoulder the burden to try. If we can do it, we will. If we can't, we're gonna tell the public we can't. But we asking you if you wanna serve on that board, come serve on it. Bring a representative in, as long as it's positive.
So our promise, I guess, to the public is that if we go to this situation here, Tommy, maybe we can assure these corporate people that we're gonna do this for 1 year anyway.
Yeah.
And if y'all want to sign up for this agreement, then you don't have to worry about us bailing out.
Let me, so we can get to an action point, I'm ready to make 2 motions. Let me just tell you what they are before I make them. One, that we hire Bryce Reagan part-time to work. He gets off at 5, I think, every day, and he can do a lot after 5. That's one of the things. No?
Y'all discuss salary.
Okay, number one, we just can't make a motion to hire somebody, they have to go through the screening process just like
Okay.
anybody else, that's
I
not,
understand.
that's not, we
So
don't
we
just,
need to advertise it.
Even part-time,
even, you don't just take and appoint somebody part-time, they gotta go through a drug screening process, they gotta go through all the
You're right.
background,
I'm
they gotta
sorry.
do it all.
Yeah.
We can hire them as an
You're
independent
right.
contractor.
No, we're not gonna hire independent contractors, we're not doing that, that's not something we.
All right, well, let's go to the second motion. My second motion is that we authorize Linwood Truitt on behalf of the city of Hazlehurst to try to solicit these 12 people, 12 corporate sponsors at $3,000. If
if we get one, we'll have enough money to get the spray. If he just gets one, he can probably get that from Beasley.
Well,
Shall we begin by saying we do elect we vote to keep and try to run this thing ourselves rather than lease it? Is that necessary?
I don't think it's necessary because we've made no commitment to lease or anything else. We've not taken in, the motion that Tommy has intent to make and everything.
I'd like for this council to vote their decision whether we want to lease it out or try to make it on our own.
Now, if we have a group running it,
And with that commission.
yeah.
Everybody understand?
Right.
Well, I'll go ahead and make that
Make
motion.
that motion.
I make a motion that we have our attorney to draw up the legal documents to establish a golf course commission to operate the golf course.
Okay. I have a motion. If there's anything else to add to.
Well, there's a lot of, there are a lot of little things like that we can work out in the details, like we approve their budget.
They do it under the auspice of the city of Hazelhurst.
That's right. And there's a lot of details to be worked out, like who's gonna, who's gonna be on it, et cetera, but at least this is
Is that a fair start?
this is the theory behind what we're gonna do.
Okay, I have a motion, Mr. Purser, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Griffin. Now, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Now, we'll establish that fact. Was there any other, well, there really was no details other than that, would that also include going ahead and telling Linwood to proceed?
I'll make,
Is that necessary?
I don't mind making a motion that we authorize Linwood Truitt to act on behalf of the city of Hazlehurst to try to get 12 corporate sponsors at $3,000 per year or $300 per month,
You think we're okay with his?
beginning July 1st, 2015. That's what he would.
We're okay with all his figures and.
No, that's the only thing we're acting on right now.
It's not.
That'll give us some upfront money
We're
to,
not touching the views on.
yeah, let's let that, I think that commission should review this and see what they
Okay,
think.
we have a motion from Mr. Purser, we have a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Johnson, any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
And of course, he may turn it down, but I don't think he will.
Well, he suggested that starting.
Yeah.
Okay. I think now's a good time as any. We've reached the point, I think, where I want to move to number 2, which is, Tommy again has volunteered to spearhead this thing, and anyway, we're all in favor of that, I know, but, I would just like to say how much I appreciate you doing it. Because frankly, if it was left up to me, I couldn't do it. So I hope, I know Tommy can do it. He knows golf, he knows the course, he knows all there is to know about it. He's probably the most qualified of us to be in this position. So if the Lord does not take you on your final reward, I hope that you will be there at least, what, sir, you have 2 more years? What's going on?
Fire
You have
service,
2 more years on the council, don't you?
2 more years.
air conditioner cut on.
Usually have to do that.
Well, no,
But anyway, I appreciate Tommy doing it, and maybe, if you don't mind, we may just ask you to, up front, to serve 2 years in this position. It won't be a lifetime burden. But anyway, if I could have a motion now on item number 2, Mr. McCall makes a motion Now, second,
I'm second it.
I think I heard,
Is
I
that-
saw the, Mr. Johnson,
Y'all
second.
don't fight over me.
I'm good like
You can
that.
have it.
You sit closer.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of appointing Mr. Purser to be over this commission over the golf course, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Thank you.
And I have one other, it is my intention that, like, I have no desire to serve on this recreation commission. All I want to do is be a liaison between them and the city council. That's the way I think that it's the best. They don't need a councilman, I don't think.
I want to do what's best. I don't know that I need to be on that commission. If I
Well,
if I
that's a
need
thought.
to be, I
thought about
will,
that.
but my feelings won't be hurt. I have no intention of trying to tell them how to do golf stuff, because I don't even know how to play golf, so. But anyway, if I can help them, I will, and I try to do the best I can in any way. Any other
Like I
commissioners?
said the other night, I've never played golf, but I don't intend to keep nobody from playing golf. I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, I got, just bring y'all up to date, the John Deere guy came and he got his maintenance guy to come by. And I went out there and met with him and he was supposed to, I don't think those machines have been greased at all. And so
That's
he.
what I heard.
We was out there yesterday.
Yeah, and he was supposed to have done that. I haven't, the machine that he worked on, I haven't driven them yet, but I was having a lot of trouble with one of them. And I think it's because it hadn't been, the reels hadn't been greased. And, but anyway, he said I'd asked him to work us up.
Time we come in, because in front of the radiator, it was full of grass. It was that thick.
Really?
And he
Okay.
said it had never been blown out.
Oh, my goodness. I see that.
Now, see, that's another thing. I've been out there driving those things and cutting grass, but I don't know anything about
But
maintenance.
what I can see
Look,
of it, Tommy, it's designed wrong. The radiator and the cooling thing, the fan's right in front of where it cuts. And that fan's sucking it right in that grill.
Okay.
I mean, that could be changed, I don't know.
Citizen comments.
Do we, this price, I mean, we need to put in paper to advertise for somebody to, we need to do that, Tommy. Whatever legally we got to do
You
to
mean
get some
in
help.
order to hire someone?
Right, you know, whatever we have to do
Well,
legally to
I
get.
don't know, we'll talk about.
I mean, we really need this guy,
We need some,
or somebody in this
Somebody.
position, we really do.
I mean, I'm going out there cutting grass, but I'm not qualified
We
to do that kind of stuff.
Actually, we need Bryce Reagan. I hate to just say that publicly, I guess, but we need somebody who knows the course, knows the equipment, knows it all. We don't need just anybody, but now, if we have to.
But he can apply just like everybody else. And then we make a
Whatever, if
decision
there's
on
some process we could go to in order to hire him as a temporary advisor or whatever, just so that, I mean, we're not looking to give him benefits and this, and he's not wanting that. We're just in desperate need of somebody that knows what they're doing to.
Tasha, can we do a contract with him, just him independently coming out there and doing stuff? Not,
And he
No.
needs to work closely with
If-
Tommy.
If you start that, that opens it up for anything and everything, and any kind of independent contractor that somebody wants to come back in, whether it is for advisor for city hall, for the fire chief, for the police chief, no, we don't want to open that independent contractor, that is
okay,
not,
that makes sense.
that's not even something we even need to put on the table, because all you do is open yourself up later on.
it. And there may be somebody else out there
Yeah.
that we don't know about,
Yeah.
that may be perfectly qualified to do it.
don't know who it would be. John Turner may apply for it.
But we need to get it and put it in the paper, because it has to be in the paper for so long and stuff like that, right?
This individual has to be hired for that, or could they be hired in another department to use that?
I mean, you can hire someone in another department and use them however you choose to, whether you want to put them in the street department and they work at the golf course, whether you want them in the water department, they work at the golf course. We're hiring a city employee.
Yeah.
We're not taking and, we're hiring a city employee. That's what we're doing. I mean, we've got to take and look at it as such. We can't take and go outside of that.
Right.
Because then we're gonna take and set ourselves up and just, well, we'll specialize and hire anything we want to. Now, if we were hiring a building inspector, that's a specialty individual in itself and everything. You have to be qualified to do the job and whatever. We can't just take and give it to Joe the Rag.
See, I let my little, private ownership of business in it, that I could do that in my business. If I wanted somebody, I'd just go out and do it, but Eric's right, this is different, you know.
Tom, since you're over that department now, you ask Charles or whoever with the city how you go about getting POs to, you don't need to just keep spending out of your pocket.
Well, that's just a simple little,
No, this is a procedure, and I really don't know what it is, but
it
Well, we
was,
set up a PO, a GNA golf course, we got a PO number.
okay.
You just call, you can call Lori.
I just considered that my donation to the cause.
you play that out in golf, and that.
Yeah.
We'll give you free greens too.
Anyway, anybody else got any comments? I echo what Chief Land said. I have to say, all the department heads should, one at a time, mention that they hope this didn't wind up hurting their department financially. So we've got to be very careful not to do that. I don't think any of us want that to happen. So the name of the game is get some money flowing as soon as possible. We're gonna have to have a little upfront money out of some account we have, maybe to help get it started. Because we'll have a large payment due July 1st, if not sooner.
I got one other little motion I'd like to make. Is that okay?
Sure.
Let's, I guess the mayor could do this, or Ms. Bent Lyra could do it, or whatever. Let's authorize somebody to contact either the RDC or associates and local government assistants and see if, let's explore that deal about getting a grant to use the wastewater, and let's just see what's out there.
I think we need to contact Heart of Georgia, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, I believe that would be our best avenue with.
When you make the motion, I'll second.
I'll make a motion that we authorize Ms. Bennett or one of the office help to take and contact Heart of Georgia or one of the other grant writing organizations to see about the possibility of getting a grant for use of the wastewater treatment, water, and a system to water the golf course.
Second.
And maybe any other
What about Carl?
purpose,
Carl, what would he
but
have?
just a grant period would
Yes,
help.
I'll call Carl later.
I second.
Okay, I have, Mr. Griffin makes a motion, Mr. Purser seconds, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Or Sarah
Takes
Davis?
care of that.
Just to give you, I know the city of Swainsboro, either that or Emmanuel County, they have there's a field on the south side of town where they have, they take their wastewater and rather than having a big swing irrigation, they just have holes coming up with sprinkler, and they, last time I looked, I don't know whether they contract with a farm or whatever, but they were growing hay. And they used it, and they had it all rolled up. Now, I don't know whether the farmer contracted with them, whether the city sold it to make money, but anyway, they've got a system over there. And they're pumping it from their wastewater system, wherever it is, to that field out there. I've seen that a number of times.
You can use it.
Okay, if we don't have any other comments,
I do.
go ahead.
Would it be too soon for y'all to check on seeing the T markers that's already out there? That would be some income for y'all to, and it will give you time that if that sponsor doesn't want it by July the 1st, you can offer it to another company. That may not be much money. I don't know what the T markers are valued at for an annual sponsorship, but
That goes to the top of Mr. Purser's list of things.
Well, certainly, that may be what is included in this $3,000 per year. I'm not sure of that, but Lynn would know.
gotcha.
But they're nice markers, very nice markers.
That may come up with just enough money, to start with your chemicals. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's just something I was
I
thinking.
think that's the first thing we need to do is get some chemicals out
Yeah, that's what the guy from John Deere said.
there. Yeah.
The second thing I have, when I posted something on my page, somebody brought it up, a restaurant, and somebody commented back on it. I know the other night, there's some money that needs to be spent on the restaurant. Do y'all have y'all considered what your plans are, how soon you would possibly get that, material and get the work donated to get that restaurant up and going, or have you even thought that far? I have an idea for the restaurant. I have 2 people in mind that I'll be glad to share with y'all. But I didn't want to contact them and say, hey, contact the city, they're gonna have a restaurant going, because I know it's in need of repairs.
If I can just start off and then others can comment too. After what we mentioned the other night, there's 2 or 3 things. For example, the sink water draining into a 5-gallon bucket. There's a few little plumbing, electrical things that we've got fixed now, whether we put a restaurant in there or not. It's just things that are torn up. Now, I don't know, once we fix those things, we'll have to decide, or the commission will, are we really gonna look for a restaurant to go in there somehow, or that would serve the public if they rent the place, then the same people that cook would furnish them, cater the meals? I don't really know at this point, but we're open for about any suggestion, I guess, or the commission will be, and the council.
When y'all get to that point, let me know, and like I said, I'll share,
But
a
it's
couple
probably
ideas.
$20,000 away from really being a really nice kitchen. I'm guessing.
But if one of these people wanted to come in and do the work, it may be quicker.
Yeah, if they want.
Well, I don't mind sharing one of the ideas with y'all. Sarah's in the city in Baxter, Miss Sarah Boatwright. She has just opened a new restaurant in Alma, and I'm already hearing high reviews from it. And if she's wanting to spread her wings, she can spread her wings in Jeff Davis
That's
County.
what, she's on the county commission over there.
Yes,
She opened that old school last summer.
yes, she did.
Did you go in the Alma on the left?
That's what somebody said, I have been over there.
I haven't
Oh,
personally,
she
but I've
owned
already,
that one?
yes.
She opened the one at the old school, going in on the left.
Okay.
She opened a restaurant in that kitchen, in the lunchroom, a restaurant.
And, Charles has got an idea, somebody may want to come in and, upfront the cost to do some repairs or buy some equipment and, in exchange for the rent, they may not want to put that kind of money in it and not see, what the future holds, but, it's just something for y'all to think about.
Could be considered, I guess.
I know where there's I may have shared that, I know where there's an industrial or a gas oven, stove, commercial, industrial's not the word, but commercial, that's just sitting on the back porch somewhere.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think so. I think we might can acquire that. I'll talk to you later about it.
We're open for any and all
Free.
suggestions.
Freeze what I'm talking about, but I'll talk to you
Cheap
later.
enough. Well,
I'd like to say one other thing to you guys, walking out of here last Wednesday night, hearing the chatter between, folks that was leaving, they were very pleased to see how your board conducts your business in the open. Having ears to listen to what the public has to say, went a long way. And as long as your board, when I say you, your board has that type of, public relations with the citizens of this Hazelhurst and the citizens of Jeff Davis County, you're gonna go a long way. So my hat's off to y'all.
I appreciate that. I think we turned another corner in that. We've established the fact that our intention, right now at least, is not to lease it out. But the city's gonna make an honest effort to run it through a commission. And Mr. Purser is gonna be the commissioner, to contact person for the most part. And I think we're on a path now to keeping the thing open. And it's got to improve, it looks terrible.
A lot of the pictures I saw on the front page of the paper, it's only can be improved.
That rain was a
And Mother
godsend.
Nature did a bunch.
That rain was a godsend.
I got there today, and it's
Started calling
already.
last night, so it's raining.
Act like a bunch of farmers.
That's right, that's right.
All right, anybody else?
The only thing I say is two things. Since I'm on the RDC, I'll have them to contact you, but, well, I'll have him to call y'all tomorrow, you and Miss Leo.
I'm not sure,
Miss Lear probably will be here tomorrow. She's had
Okay,
surgery.
well,
That's
to
right.
talk to Tasha. And the thing about, and the reason I say that because wastewater, when you go to talking with it at RDC, it's like, whoa, wait, so I will get right when to talk to you about the water.
Okay.
The restaurant, if we ever do go out there, that was sometime like, we had somebody that was gonna go in there. The only thing I would ask, when we decide, or if you decide to put somebody in there, not to let them make plans to do it. They were gonna fix it up, and then all of a sudden, the next day or so, it was done away with, and I hope we would never do that again. And I'll leave it at that. They were gonna fix this up and put a restaurant in there. So, I hate to have somebody come in to use their own money, fix it up, and then you're gonna change it. I know we ain't working like we used to, but I just don't want that to ever happen again, not on my watch.
No. Okay, Jim, any other comment? I can't think of any. I have a motion to adjourn.
So,
All four at one time. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
No.
Carl, let me see it for you. I just asked you.
That's about it.